Hey lovelies, I hope you're staying happy and healthy, and if you're able to, that you are enjoying the safety and comfort of your own home. If you are spending more time at home these days, maybe you're doing more cooking and baking. I know for myself, I have been doing a ton of baking lately. I've probably baked more in the last few weeks than I have in the entire year. And to be honest, I have found it very therapeutic. So today I wanted to share with you a really simple but delicious recipe for these incredible blueberry baked oatmeal muffins. These are actually from my cookbook, Meals Made Easy, and they're so simple to make, but really, really yummy. Now I should mention that the first time I tried to shoot this video was last week, and I thought it would be fun to have Elle in the video with me and just take a look at how that turned out. What are these?
Nana.
Nana, that's right, we've got nanas. Here, can you grab the banana and put it in the bowl? Put it in the bowl. Definitely go ahead and take a bite first. Quality control always in the kitchen. Whoa, 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 hands out. Yeah, you can keep your hands in there. Oh, that's right. The next step is going to be mixing the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. You know that there's a slightly easier way to do that? Despite being completely adorable, I discovered that Elle might not be quite ready to be my sous chef in the kitchen. So I thought I would reshoot this video solo so that you guys can actually see the recipe come together the way it's meant to be. And it all starts with our dry ingredients. Now for this recipe, I am starting with some oats. I am using quick oats because that's what I had on hand in my pantry. If you've got old-fashioned rolled oats, those will totally work here as well. You can't do this recipe with steel-cut oats, unfortunately, but any kind of sort of oats like this will definitely do. For my sweetness in this recipe, I am going to be adding some brown sugar. If you want to use some white sugar here, go ahead and do that. Or you could use some coconut sugar as an alternative, definitely up to you. You've got options, is what I'm saying. I am also going to be adding a good helping of baking powder here. Now the baking powder in this recipe is what's going to give our muffins their lift. So these are going to be nice and light and fluffy as opposed to super dense. And we're using about 2 teaspoons of baking powder, which is a lot of baking powder in a traditional baking recipe, but works really, really well when you're talking about something like rolled oats, because rolled oats by virtue are dense themselves. I am just going to whisk our baking powder and our brown sugar into our oats so they're well combined. You want to make sure that the baking powder is evenly distributed through the mixture so that your muffins each get the same amount of lift. Next, lovelies, it's time to turn our attention to our wet ingredients. So for our wet ingredients, I am starting with some banana. Now I'm using 2 bananas because these are quite large. You could use 3 if they're a little on the smaller side. If you're not into bananas, you could swap in some applesauce in this recipe. It's really, really versatile and applesauce will work just as well. What I love about using bananas is that if they're ripe enough, they have a nice natural sweetness to them, so they're perfect in a recipe like this. Just going to be mashing my bananas in a large bowl. Get in there with my handy dandy potato masher. What could be easier? This is actually one of those awesome projects that's great for kids. I actually made this with Elle's daycare class about a month ago, just before everyone went into quarantine, and we had a blast. And those are all 1.5-year-olds. So if they can do it, if you've got older kids, then you're in luck. All right, so to my banana mixture, I am adding some milk. Now I'm using just some whole milk here. Now if you don't want to use dairy in this recipe, you definitely don't have to. Almond milk, soy milk, even oat milk would work really well here. And then I'm going to be adding my eggs to this. So I've got 2 eggs headed into my bowl, and I'm also going to add a splash of vanilla extract for some extra delicious flavor. I'm just going to whisk this all up so it's thoroughly combined, and then I'm going to transfer my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients and add a heaping helping of blueberries to this. If you don't have blueberries, any berries will really work in this recipe. You could also swap in some nuts or some chocolate chips if you want to. Really, any mix-ins that can be used in a traditional muffin can be used here. The sky is actually the limit. We'll give that a quick stir just until everything is combined. Then, lovelies, it's just a matter of scooping this mixture into our muffin tin. Now, I've lined my muffin tin with these parchment paper liners. I love these for baking. You could also use some silicone liners if you wanted to. The parchment liners are really, really convenient because they peel off so easily. And I'm just basically going to go in here. I've got an ice cream scoop and I'm going to drop a full scoop into each of my muffin cups. This is definitely another job the kids can help with if they're feeling restless, being stuck at home. You can ask them to get in here and make their muffins. Now you don't have to worry about overfilling your cups here because unlike traditional muffins, these are not going to sort of spill over the way a regular muffin would. So we're gonna try to get them right up to the top. And come on guys, so simple. These are headed into the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for between 25 and 30 minutes. You'll know they're ready when they're nice and golden on top. Super tasty. All right, lovelies, look at what we have here. These are absolutely perfect. They are bursting with blueberry goodness. They're nice and golden on top, but still soft and chewy in the center. What is not to love about these oatmeal cups? I hope you guys will give this yummy recipe a try for yourselves. And if you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo because you know how much I love seeing your kitchen creations, especially these days. The full recipe is linked in the description box below so you can find it there. And finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.